Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. When we left off in the last video, I had gotten the entire braking system in the car and then found one of the fittings was leaking pretty bad up at the master cylinder area. So I have gone ahead and ordered a couple replacement fittings, which should take care of that problem. Just waiting for those to show up, but it'll probably be another day or so before I have those. So what I was going to work on today, as I had mentioned previously, the rear line that connects the hard line on the body to the T, that is the T junction on top of the rear end. My bracket was pretty bad shape and the stud snapped off and whatnot. So I ordered this Dorman replacement one off of Amazon. I have the braided line installed in the car currently, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the bracket off of this and then drill a hole in the bracket and use that for mounting the Russell braided line to the rear end housing. Also, when I had pressure on the system and found a leak in the front, I also did see a little bit of dripping from the back on the T back here. So being that those are all new fittings, probably just needs to be snugged down a little bit more, so I'm going to get that taken care of. So that is what I'm going to be working on to start with. Being, like I said, that I'm waiting on parts, the next couple of days may just be a mishmash of things. After this, I might try and work on, the fitting for the heater core to try and get that thing all finalized so I can get the cooling system put back together, because I really do want to get this car on the road pretty soon. It's, sitting here looking beautiful and I'm losing days to drive this thing. So want it out of the garage, on the ground, and on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on getting this bracket cleaned up and taken apart and ready to install in the car. All right, here we go. The two pieces are separated. I basically just had to take a grinder and work down this flange that went through the slot on the bracket just to get the outer edges, which were kind of pounded out from via pressure. Took a little grinder to it, and then a sledgehammer with a chisel was able to just basically hammer it a few times and push it through the bracket. So just need to get this thing drilled so it'll fit the bolt that I have, and then I can go ahead and get this installed in the car. And there it is. You can see the brackets installed and bolted down. Same up at the top, I've got a bolt running through it. And I was able to get a little bit more turn on the fitting where it was leaking out of, so we should be good to go there. Those I tightened both the fittings and they're both as tight as I can get them without starting to round off the flare fittings. So should be all set here in the back. So that's taken care of, one less thing to worry about. So yeah, as far as the brakes go, I'm pretty much on hold until I get the fittings to fix that leak up at the master cylinder. All right, so regarding the heater, my first thought was to see if I could cut one of the aluminum fittings that I had laying around that was a 90-degree, and then add a 90-degree copper fitting to try and jog it the way it needs to jog. I can't get it to sweat together. I didn't think I'd be able to, but I had spare stuff laying around, so I figured it was worth a shot. So that is a fail. That's not going to work. I don't know if there's a certain type of solder or brazing rod or something that I would need to make it work. But with what I have, it's not going to work. So that is out of the question at this point in time. So what I am going to try that I do think will work is I have that 45-degree fitting on there that I had ordered. What I'm going to try and do is get another 90-degree heater hose with a pre-molded 90 bend in it, and I think what I can do is have it come through the whole existing hole and then just run that 90-degree to that 45-degree hard line. I think I can make the bend work. It should fit. I have a straight one in there right now just to try and do some measuring, and with the amount of flexibility that's in the actual heater line, I think I can do it. The only other option I had that I was looking at possibly doing was having it come straight through, then wrap around that reinforcement beam and then hook up, but it was actually collapsing the hose, and that to me just doesn't seem like it'd be the right thing to do. So I placed the order for a piece of 90-degree pre-molded 5/8 hose. I should have that in the next day or so, so hopefully that will be the fix for this heater hose problem. All right, it's been a few days since the last clip that you saw. I went back to work and I've been pretty busy there, so I haven't been able to come out to the garage. Been tied up with some other stuff. What I'm going to do today is get the e-brake cable swapped over. When I bought the kit from North Race Cars, it came with replacement cables that should be correct and work with the disc brake conversion. So I'm going to go ahead, crawl under the car and start removing the drum brake cables, and then I can go ahead and start installing the correct cables from North Race Cars. And rear cables are out. Not too bad to remove. Again, like the mounting points, there's 3 tabs. It's just kind of a little awkward to get all 3 tabs pressed in at once. I normally get a first one, then kind of pull through at an angle, get the second one, pull it through at an angle to keep those depressed, and then just to get a flat blade screwdriver on the third one, and they should pop out, no problem. So I'm gonna go ahead now and get the new cables installed. All right, so as much as I thought this would be an easy install, I found an issue with, my conglomeration of parts. So as far as the cable goes, it is supposed to go through this hole here and sit in place just like that. Well, as you can see, that hole there is one of the caliper mounting brackets, bolts. The ones that came with the adapter kit are these Allen heads, and the size of the Allen head is too tall. It will not allow, or I can't have that and this bracket at the same time. So what I did find is that I had a shorter bolt that was the same thread. These actually came with the North Race Car kit. If this is in there and bottomed out, it will just barely fit. So I'm just going to need to go to the hardware store and get a couple of these that are longer for the 2 bottom bolt holes that retain the caliper to the adapter bracket from Super Coops Unlimited. So at this point in time, can't quite finish this job. Also, in order to install these cables, I did have to ever so slightly drill the holes where they mount to the factory 5 chassis. I'm not sure if these are like aftermarket cables and they're a little bit thicker, but they would not go into the holes as they were from the factory. So as far as this job goes, I'm on hold until I go to the hardware store and get a couple of bolts. All right, and one other thing I think I'm going to go over in this video, I got the 90-degree Gates hose that I'd ordered the other day and kind of installed it a little bit. You can see it's not fully seated on the pipe and whatnot, and I'm going to have to cut it down to length. I was just kind of messing around with angles and whatnot. I think I will be able to make this work and have it where it won't be bound up too bad, and it should fit pretty good, and I should be able to get this heater core connected finally. So I think we have a win there. With that, I think I'm going to end the video at this point in time. I don't think I'll be able to work on the car for another day or so. Hoping Saturday I can get some time in. It's going to be a pretty busy weekend for me this weekend. Really only going to have Saturday to work on it because Sunday I'm actually taking the Jeep wheeling. So there will be a Gladiator video coming likely from a wheeling trip on Sunday. And then I have some other stuff to go do later in the day. So really only going to be a Saturday work day, and I'm hoping to be able to get the brakes finished on that day as far as replacing those fittings because those came in the mail today as well. So hope you enjoy what you're seeing. Hope it's informative. If you do enjoy it, please like, please subscribe, please hit that notification bell. As always, there's going to be plenty more content coming on this vehicle as well as the Gladiator and the MR2 once that comes back from the body shop. It is near complete, so I should have it back soon. At least that's what they keep telling me. And once that's back and I get this Cobra on the road, I will start working on the MR2 as far as the engine swap goes. So thank you for watching and have a great day.